my story part 2. I looked at part 1 and it looks like one of those funny videos where somebody holds up a lighter and is like, my name is so-and-so and I have this illness or whatever. That wasn't intentional. I'm just out in the garage having smoke and didn't mean for all the trauma drama there. Anyway, part 2, alright. 5 medical leaves, yeah. Each leave was a year, because I'd have to wait for, still recording, yeah. I have to wait for the next school year to come around to get back into my studies, the next class. There's no such thing as first semester, second semester type, oh, I can repeat the class next semester, whatever. In professional programs, it's highly structured, and if you take leave, you have to wait for the next class, the new entering class, and join them to continue. So, like I told you guys about the first medical leave, it was only a few days. Second one was when I went to Mayo Clinic in 97. And by that time, I had started pharmacy school in 96. And probably 6 to 8 weeks into my first semester in pharmacy, I was really disappointed. I should explain. Okay. Pharmacy, there used to be 2 different types of degrees. You could get an RPH, which was like, kind of like a bachelor's in pharmacy, I think. And then there's clinical pharmacy, for which you get a doctorate degree called a PharmD. And I was in the PharmD program. They actually phased out the RPH degree now. If you're going to go for pharmacy, you will be a bona fide clinician by the end. It's 4 years. The last of which is rotations, which is like getting experience in different disciplines: hospital, clinical, nursing home pharmacy, community pharmacy, consulting pharmacy. There's all different disciplines you can go into. I was very much drawn to clinical pharmacy, and the team at my school. It was very cool that at my school they were working on trying to get a Pharmacist Practitioner Act passed. There was a significant Native American population in the vicinity of my school, and several pharmacists had studied there and were prescribing pharmacists, actual diagnosing, prescribing clinicians, very much like MDs. And I was really fascinated by that program and thought about going into it, but by the end of my first semester in pharmacy, I was thinking, I don't like the idea of having to go to somebody for any decision. I'd rather be the one making the decisions to help people. So after my first medical leave, when I was waiting that year, I had actually come in contact with an anesthesiologist who's doing research on consciousness, and I'm fascinated by that subject. And I also became interested in both the operating room aspects of anesthesiology and pain management. It's kind of ironic because I ended up with chronic pain. But anyway, I decided to apply to medical school, and I did some training with the anesthesia department, waiting for my pharmacy studies to come back around. And so I kind of vacillated for a long time what I wanted to do, but I did decide ultimately that I would like to go into anesthesia and perhaps open a pain clinic. So I did some research. Actually, the anesthesiologist is really famous now. There's been a movie made that he was in. But anyway, he was really cool. I learned a lot from him. Anyway, I miss it a lot. More than I can tell you. I still have dreams of trying to make it work. I just got too sick. And I didn't want to admit it. And I was in denial and stubborn and driven. And so, yeah. It took 5 year-long medical leaves. Actually, just 1 3-day medical leave followed by a half-course load. And then 4 separate year-long medical leaves. Jumping in between schools. Before I accepted that I was just too sick. And the last hospitalization, that was when the decision was made. And I think my husband just got home, so I'm going to stop this and go greet him, and I'll be back.